I've seen a lot of commentary channels covering a recent video by TikToker Robbie Scott where he discusses his desire to become in a lavender marriage. He believed himself previously to be a gay man, but he wants the trappings of a heterosexual relationship. And a lot of people have been discussing this and making good-natured attempts to connect this to queer history, but not nearly enough people are connecting that to queer modernity, because there are a lot of us that, I until very recently was in relationships with men because it got me more income, it got me more safety, it was less societal pressure, it was less people telling me I'm wrong, I'm bad, I'm dirty, it was less fear, it was less anxiety, and I thought that it was worth it for me. And I know that with regards to Robbie himself, people are like, are you actually gay, or are you maybe bisexual? But I want to table that, set that aside for a moment to discuss the number of people that even to this day are still entering into lavender relationships and the reasons why we do that. Because unfortunately, that's a segment of the LGBTQ population that very often cannot speak for themselves. It's very difficult because unfortunately, the people that are currently in those relationships and are currently doing lavender relationships very often do not want to discuss it in any public form or fashion. A lot of times we view things like Lance Bass going on a date with Danielle Fishel to prom as like bearding that happened among celebrities in the past, and completely ignore the fact that there are probably any number of celebrities that are still in beard relationships because there is still significant societal pressures against it. Like, look at all of the pressure that Billie Eilish has faced in coming out. It has caused her to step back into the closet. It has caused her to react away from our community and react away from embracing herself publicly as a queer individual. And as someone who now very much realizes what my life was lacking because I was not an out queer person earlier in my life, I feel like I have to discuss these things, right? Because on the one hand, there are people that are going to be in situations where a lavender marriage is their best possibility. And I have to admit that, especially for people that are most financially disenfranchised, a lavender marriage is often the best way for them to get out of that situation into a situation that they have a little bit more freedom to be themselves, or a little bit more financial freedom at least. And I think it's definitely especially tempting for women because if we're not in a relationship, it is seen as more defective than a single man not being in a relationship. But also you've got like the wage gap, you've got the pink tax, you've got all of these safety concerns, which having a man in your house isn't always